Yes, YouTube, how are we doing? So today we're going to be mapping how to actually set up your business in Claude CoWork in really easy and simple formats. I'm not only going to show you on here, but I'm also going to pop this open and go through a few different cycles. So you need to firstly not overcomplicate it, right? So the first thing that I would recommend that you do is you have a look onto here, right? And you're going to list out all of the tools that you currently use for your business. So keep it as simple as humanly possible. I have literally just done this in the last 30 seconds. So I've put Xero, Gmail, Google Calendar, Gamma, Excalidraw, Fathom, and I've got loads of other tools that I obviously kind of use, right? But that's the first place that I'm going to start. So if you haven't got a clue what I'm talking about with actually setting up your actual tools for your company, then what I would recommend that you do is you hop over to the Claude CoWork app, you click onto the middle button there, and then you go through, and then you can basically go into the chat, right? So I've inputted this prompt, so I'm just going to let this, I'll just tick a load off here so I can go back onto a chat in a minute. Right, but when I come down onto this little button here, right, I've then got connectors, and if I click onto manage connectors there, you'll see with this little button there, browsing connectors, there are hundreds of different MCP things that you can connect. So you've got Shopify, you've got Notion, you've got Slack, you've got Miro, you've got Xero, you've got Zapier, you've got like everything. There are hundreds of them, right? So before you even think about setting up CoWork, just literally get a list of, so Calendar is obviously really popular. A big one for me is Fathom, but obviously based on you and what you're doing at the moment with your business, just keep it as simple as humanly possible, and then just get a list like I've done of all the tools that you currently use on a day-to-day and week-to-week basis, right? Then from that point, all I want you to do is follow this diagram, right? So we have listed out all of our tools in step one to keep it as really easy as simply possible, right? From that point, they've then got to look at what type of activities that we need the CoWork system or AI to do for us on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. It could be some client-facing work. It could be some context that you need on a week-to-week basis. It could be absolutely anything, right? So a lot of the stuff I do is going to be for content, marketing, sales, operations, client work, and everything, right? So, for example, when we're onto here, you could be processing your Fathom sales calls into content ideas from operations. You could be looking at supporting it with your task lists or stuff to do with your team, right? So from that point, then you just need to basically input your tools and your activities, what you currently do, into the actual CoWork system. So as you've seen onto here, all I did a minute ago was went onto the CoWork chat. If I just pop back onto that one there, I've clicked off it now onto here. But as you've basically seen, I had it as a really easy basic structure and said that these are the tools that I use: Xero, Gmail, Google Calendar, Gamma, Excalidraw, or Fathom. Design me a CoWork setup to support me with using these tool integrations, and explain the reason as to how and why we will use them together. So this is what you need to always look at with AI, guys. So how can you basically ask it questions so it gives you more context and information? So there's a lot of these MCP tools on here where I don't know if I'm connected because I use terminal code for most of my stuff now. But all I'd do is I'd ask the AI system, what can you actually do for me? How can you actually help me? So this is what it's going to give you. So I've got the shape of my stack now. It's then designing what I can do in terms of scheduling, what I can do in terms of making and delivering, what I can do for actually running the business, right? So what you've got is you've got pillar one. So this could be my business, operations, and finances. So all I'd need to do is connect my Xero, connect my Gmail, connect my Google Calendar. And then from that point, I can then set up the individual workflows by just basically going through what prompts it asks me to do, right? So I find a lot of the time is people are overcomplicate it when it comes to this. You just need to follow the step-by-step process that the actual AI system is giving to you. So from that point, right, we have ticked this box, we have ticked this box, we have then come into this point here where we've asked AI to give you a CoWork design system, and then from that point, right, it's just a case of going through, testing it and trialing it and using it, right? So one of the most highly effective things that you could do is basically document what you do on a day-to-day basis. So every 30 minutes, every hour, every day, and every 7 days, right? And it's the same for this. So this might be me adding content creation, processing sales call transcripts, creating client presentations, creating weekly lead magnets, building a monthly live workshop. Don't worry if that's spelled a little bit wrong, it will pick it up, I'll change it anyway. Analyzing my meta ads data, providing me with a monthly financial report as to the performance of my company and where I can invest, providing actionable business strategies and plans for clients based on their knowledge and intelligence, Alright, so this is just me doing that in 10 seconds. So that's just a few things that I do on a week-to-week and monthly basis. These are common things that I am doing at the moment on a week-to-week and a monthly basis. Can you then give me a step-by-step guide on how I can look at setting these up to be done for me as repeatable tasks, or a way that you can actually support me with executing these at a higher level and volume to enable me to buy more time back? All right. So all I've done that, I've used Whisperflow, go into that one there, and then stick that into there. Right, so keep it as simple as humanly possible, right? As a first starting point, start discovering what MCP tools that you can connect, which is based on your stack. But if I was in your spot for a coach, a consultant, a service provider, or a business owner in general, right, these are the CoWork OS things that I would be personally looking at to emit the highest level of responses and rewards. So what you've obviously got for this is you've got sales structures. So you can be looking at setting up a CoWork project, which I'll show you in a second, which is going to help you looking at reviewing DM scripts. You can do call analysis for content ideas. You can do pipeline reviews, right? So if I went back onto my CoWork, while that's obviously processing, it's going to take a few seconds to go through. Then it's going to start coming in and asking me loads of questions. So I might have YouTube, podcast, and LinkedIn. Right, so this is common thing that it will do. So I always work from Google Drive as well. So I'll just tick that one there. And then what I want is just a mini slide deck, right? So again, all I'm doing is I'm doing this for a really practical, fast way for the purpose of the actual video, right? So one thing that you can start to do is building out projects here. So these projects work very, very similar to chat. So when you go into chat and you've got project there, the difference is these projects will be working interdependent based on what information you add into the knowledge base and also what instruction you've got set up. Very, very similar for CoWork. The difference is these projects can basically be set up to work independently in the background for you. So all you would do is go into new project. So you could go into starting from scratch there. Let's call this finance reporting. And then what you could do is you could give it a brief instruction, or you could just go into a Claude chat and ask it to give you instruction that you paste into it. Then from that point, you can obviously drop in any relevant files that you have currently got. If you're working from your actual localized computer in any file system, you can also do that. But for the purpose of this, what I will do is I'll just connect onto it. And if I've got a finance reporting CoWork section, all I'm going to do from that point is I'm going to click onto the connector, go onto connectors. So my operations manager and chief financial officers and that, they just sort all my stuff out. But if I went onto that, all I would do is I'd be going through, right, so I need to then find my X0, right, and I'm going to get that connected in, so then I've got literally day-to-day high-level world-class financial reporting. So this is just how simple it is, guys. Like, and I want to show how simple and easy this is, because it's not complicated in any way, shape, or form. So while I've been doing that and messing about, this is obviously then going to be processing loads of different things that I can do associated with what I do on a day-to-day basis and a week-to-week basis, right? So once we're into that point, right, can I get my sales set up? So all I'd need for that is probably Fathom connected and my DM scripts and sales data. I can also look at content, so I can have some weekly ideation in terms of reel posts and scripts for content ideas, some hooks that I perform well, some repurposing content by putting a transcript into it, so you can have content ticked off. That's a terrible circle. I need to get my little iPad out, don't I, really, like I used to. And then from that point, you can have coaching call prep, you can have strategy documents, you can have accountability check-ins, you can be processing SOPs, you can be looking at hiring in-person team training, admin and finance, you can be looking at building out and designing your an actual offer. You could literally set up CoWork to build your entire offer for you. But the main thing here, guys, is just start with this step-by-step process, right? And then most importantly, right, just focus on one project at a time. What I see a lot, like, this is a bad demo because I literally just did about 5 projects at once, right? But as you can basically see, all I'm going to do there is just giving me out loads of different workflows based on what I do at the moment. So I've got content creation, so YouTube, podcast, and LinkedIn as a workflow I could set up, and then I've got processing sales call transcripts as a workflow I could set up, then I've got creating client presentations as a workflow. So let's say for the purpose of this video, all I'm going to do from that point is I'm just going to copy that workflow, put that into here, right, and then I'm going to say I currently have Fathom MCP connected. I'm not sure if it's connected to my Claude app though, but it is connected to my Claude terminal. But can you give me a step-by-step process on how I can connect my Fathom MCP to CoWork, so we can be looking at processing all the sales calls that I take to turn it into highly responsive content ideas, alongside giving me the ability on how I can improve my sales calls from one to another? All I'm doing is, guys, I'm compounding information all the time, not overcomplicating it. So that's a workflow. I looked at that and I was like, oh, I really like that. That'd be really highly effective. That'd be really good, high ROI for me. Sweet, I'm going to jump on that straight away. So then now I can just start to build one at a time, right? So again, this is just me doing this in a general overview chat, but what you can basically do, you'll also, so I've currently not got Fathom connected, but I have got it on my terminal code because I just mostly use that now, which I wouldn't recommend until you've got CoWork set up, because terminal code will blast your head off. But like I said, guys, like, you just literally keep going back to it. You find these workflows, you find these repeatable tasks, and then you basically just get your operating system set up. But that's a step-by-step process on how I'd recommend that you do it. So first, you list out all of your tools. So really, really, really easy. We're going to list out everything that we do inside of our business. Then we're going to list out what we do in terms of our activities. Then we're literally just going to insert that into the actual CoWork chat and ask it to give you some setup structures and also workflows. And then I'd start to build out your own CoWork OS in terms of an operating system for what you actually want. And then most importantly, just stick to one at a time. And then when it comes down to actually getting these set up, right, do not think that you suddenly need to have next level tech skills. You let's just ask the AI system to set it up for you, or give you an easy step-by-step process on how it can do it. So that's the highest value thing that I would recommend that you do, is you get all of your day-to-day workflows off your plate, set up on AI, so you can start focusing on higher ROI activities, guys. So again, if you are looking to get this set up at a high level, I've got copy and paste SOPs to set up all of your projects, which are done for you, all of your CoWork workflows, which are done for you, everything with Chrome, everything with code, like on another level, right? And obviously that's just one very small part of what we do at the Coach Consultant, guys. And if you want to find out more about what we do inside of our programs, I'd love to see you on the other side, and I'd love you to book a call. No pressure in any way, shape or form, as always, in all my videos. And if you're not currently subscribing, guys, please subscribe. I'll be dropping easy demo videos like this every single week.